Taoiseach, did you discuss with President Biden the issue of the TRIPS waiver for vaccine technology and the vaccine formula? I mean, even the United States government, as I pointed out to you before, has used essentially wartime legislation to direct private companies to do certain things to respond to the coronavirus. And this is in the heart of capitalism, if you like. It doesn't go far enough as far as I'm concerned, but even they understood the need to use emergency measures to tell for-profit commercial companies what they had to do in response to the coronavirus. And yet, shockingly, your government and the European Union is dancing to the tune of the vaccine-producing companies who do not want to share the vaccine formula and technology with countries like India, like other countries, where we are seeing a disaster unfold. Right? It is morally obscene when we know that in order to see the back of this pandemic, we need the world vaccinated, and the awful, terrifying cost of that is being seen in countries like India, notwithstanding, by the way, the shocking right-wing, irresponsible attitude of the Indian government in terms of, which was like Trump and Bolsonaro. But nonetheless, it is unconscionable that Europe is holding out against the waiver of intellectual property on vaccines.
First of all, Ireland has shown moral leadership on this issue, and so has Europe. And I think there's been a lot of sort of simplistic conclusions drawn here, which are not merited and don't stack up. Europe has led the charge in terms of vaccine production and export for the entire world. Now, a month ago, deputies in this House were criticising Europe in terms of its slow, distribution and manufacture, maybe 2 months ago, of the vaccines. The reality, so just to make the point, Europe, through its pre-purchasing agreements, has done an awful lot to ensure proper research and production of vaccines which are being exported all over the world, and the barriers have not been put up to stop it. That is important. And also I want to say, I'm answering you. It's not as simple as the slogan. And unfortunately, too many deputies reduce everything to the slogan or the soundbite. And it's not that simple. And you shouldn't pretend it is that simple either. And one of the largest manufacturing sites is in India. You know, and AstraZeneca had been manufacturing in India, and India have put a ban of necessity on any export from India back out into anywhere else. And earlier in this period, Europe thought it would be getting vaccines from India. No, we have to do everything we possibly can to help India, and we are sending out materials and so forth, and we will do whatever we can. Whatever is the correct policy approach, we will support. We've been strong supporters of COVAX. Europe is one of the largest contributors, if not the largest contributor. And in respect of the meeting with President Biden at the time, back in March, we didn't discuss the patents issue there or the intellectual property issue there. The focus rather was on supply chains, because the biggest barrier right now was on that whole manufacturing, production, supply chain area in terms of getting the components, sufficient quantity of components to enable vaccines to be produced quickly and fast. And no matter where you go in the world, all of those components will be required in that supply chain.
Thank you very much, Taoiseach. Unfortunately, now we're out of time. Thank you very much.
I just say, just to count, if I could, you know, I think there's about 11 or 12 questions or maybe more asked. It's impossible for me to give any form of reply to this kind of scenario, and that's just the system as it's being developed. So thank you, Ceann Comhairle.